Hi, I am Francisco.
And I'm Alfonso, and we are Is Illegal Mexico, and this is our podcast, Easy Talks. So today we're going to talk about corporations. We went back and forth about whether we talk about this or not because it's boring as hell.
Yeah, it is.
And Francisco didn't want to talk about this, to be honest with you. Not because we didn't know about it, kind of, but because it is freaking boring. And we want to try to find a way to make it more
Appealing.
accessible, understanding, but most of all, interesting. Even at school, it was a dreaded subject. It was awful. Let's just say it's not our best topic of conversation about corporations, but we have many clients interested in forming one. We have many people forming corporations, expats, foreigners forming corporations. So I think for them to have a peek of what it is like and how long does it take to form a corporation maybe can shed a light on whether they form a corporation or not. So we're going to do our best to do it as, again, appealing, entertaining, and less boring as possible. That being said, it's still corporations, so don't expect too many laughs or entertainment in this particular episode. So there's many reasons why people want to form a corporation, and there's many reasons why they come and form a corporation. But from our expertise, what would you say will be the top three? You want to form a corporation?
Buying property, open a business.
Maybe investment, I think will be the third, to invest. And so they come and they express that they want to open a corporation. The first thing we have to establish is what kind of corporation. There's many kinds. I won't get into that. So the ones that we actually usually recommend is the equivalent of an LLC. And that if it's commercial, and if it's based on fees or for professional services, an S.C.P, which is what we have as Is Illegal Mexico. We have clients with non-profit associations, but that's a completely different animal, so to speak. So we're going to talk more about the commercial activity one. So let's say they come, they say, hey, I want to form a corporation. I want to buy a property, flip it, or I want to open a business. Yeah, it's, you give me three names. I don't want to say names of corporation, but I have the craziest shit. People have given me the craziest names. And I don't want to give names because maybe they're watching or they don't want me to say it, but trust me, it can go from something like, I don't know, Mexico Investment Holdings, wherever, to something like, I don't know, I like watch ass or something like that. I don't know, the craziest thing you can imagine, you can put as a name of corporation. And they give us three names. If the name is already in use, it will be rejected. If it's available, it will come back. Either one or three of them will give you the option. You tell us which one you prefer and we'll take it from there. And then it comes the part of obtaining information from the clients.
Basically, it's their general information, copy of their passport, if they have a resident cards.
But don't worry about it. Don't sweat about the fact that it's too much information. We have a questionnaire that we send clients, and wherever you work with, most likely they have that kind of thing. A questionnaire that you send to clients, so you just fill it out, send it back, and that's it. You don't have to go back and forth and thinking about that many things because it is a lot of information to start with. So we send the questionnaire, you fill out the questionnaire, send it back, and we start. So now it comes a part of drafting the corporation. 20 some pages, something like that. It's a pain in the ass, not gonna lie. But We draft the corporation with the requirements and the things that you just tell us, the information that you sent. And once we draft that, we set up a meeting to sign it. Before you ask, no, it's not in English, nor it will be in English. If you want it in English, you have to pay a translator to have it translated because it's 20-some pages with lots of legal technicalities. Usually we do our best effort to translate the document for you, but it's not going to be in English.
Yeah.
So comes to the signing, and we have options there too.
Yeah, well, if you're in town, you can sign here with us at the office, or if you're not here, right now we have the option to sign at distance with any video program such as FaceTime, Zoom, or whatever. The notary can give faith of your intention to sign the corporation. So you just need to show your passport at the time of signing, and that's it.
Yeah, so you don't have to be here and save time and money and form the corporation. So the corporation gets formed, but it cannot start working yet. There's steps, there's requirements.
Yeah, once you sign, and after we sign, we register in the Public Registry of Commerce and the Mexican IRS to get the tax ID number. But that's just the first step. After that, we need to get the electronic signature of the corporation. Like I said, it's an electronic file that will allow the corporation to issue facturas, invoices, and file the tax reports, monthly and yearly for the accountant.
But as easy and simple as it sounds, it is a pain in the ass. I'm gonna cover it. I'm not gonna make it sound nice to get an appointment to get your electronic signature. Because of COVID, appointments in the Mexican IRS are very limited. So they feel like this. We have to have people in our office wake up at 3 a.m. trying to get appointments for clients to get the electronic signature. So it's a problem, and it takes time. So this adds to the time it takes to get the corporation, how long it will take us to get a freaking appointment to get the electronic signature.
Yeah.
On top of that, we have requirements to get the electronic signature.
Yeah, and the person that is going to represent the corporation before the Mexican IRS will have to have a resident card or being a Mexican and have a individual electronic signature. So that would be like the first step to think who is going to be your proxy before the Mexican IRS.
And the fucking address.
Yeah, and we need a tax address that it cannot be a virtual office. You have to get a space that will be set up as your Mexican tax ID
address. And before you ask, and I said the swear word because it's a thing. It's a thing. It's an issue. We cannot give you our address. Your accountant cannot give you his address or her address. Your attorney cannot give you their address. You do have to get an address to show that that's the corporate address, and they will ask you for pictures and a proof of address in the name of your corporation, electric bill, water bill, wherever. Once you get your electronic signature, we go to the other part or the final part of the corporation, which is opening the bank account, and that takes also several weeks.
Between 3 weeks, a month, because one of the requirements is to have the electronic signature, to have the tax address, that the bank will go and verify that you are physically located there.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So 3 to 4 weeks to open a bank account, which sounds surprising because we formed an LLC in 2018. and went to Miami, and we were expecting well, I was expecting to fail. I don't know about you, but I was expecting really not to be able to open the bank account for the LLC, because in Mexico it takes 3 to 4 weeks. So we said, our accountant at the time told us that you're gonna be out within minutes with your bank account open, and we said, the guy's crazy. Really, the only reason it took an hour is because the lady made us wait 20 minutes. Otherwise, in 40 minutes, we will have our bank account open, debit card issue, and corporate bank account. 2 corporate bank accounts, not just one. 2 corporate bank accounts open, corporate debit card, and if you wanted to, checkbooks too. And that was that.
Yeah.
So that's why we understand what foreigners and expats come to trying to open a bank account and say, what the hell? 3 to 4 weeks? What are we talking about? Banks here, especially I think since I don't want to say the name of the bank, but the money laundering scandal on the bank that we have here, banks are very, very careful with the money laundering law, and they actually check not only the corporation but every single partner. They check all the documents that they present with. They take their time. And so, as much as we want to serve the clients and to give them the best, more
time frame.
Time frame or fast service as possible, there's some things that we cannot accelerate. That's one of them. So 3 to 4 weeks to open the bank account. Once the bank account is open, that's when the corporation is actually ready to start working. Not before that. Whatever you do before that is something that you're going to have to fix in the future. And I'm talking about people who wants to buy property without having the bank account of the corporation form.
Yeah.
They pay from their own pocket, and that will let you eventually to have to do minutes of the meeting and all kinds of documents to justify that money being used to acquire property for the corporation. So as much as we do it, we don't love to do it, and we will really recommend you to wait until the bank accounts form and the corporation is ready to work and to pay with it. But there's a reason why. Can you say the reason why? It's actually, you need to pay with a corporate check. Things, not only your house or your property, but things.
Yeah, everything that the corporation wants to buy, it has to be with a wire transfer, debit card, credit card.
But that includes property.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because the way the law is here, in order for people to be able to give you an invoice, our official invoice, a factura, you need to pay with debit card, check, wire transfer, and it's the only way you can use that as deductibles to write off against your monthly taxes, yearly taxes, or at the end of the day, capital gains taxes when you sell property, which are quite high. So you do need to have the bank account ready to work when it comes to the corporation. So you finish the corporation, you're buying, you're working. I think the most important thing about a corporation is the accountant.
Yeah. From the beginning, you need to get an accountant to set up the tax strategy you're gonna use for your business adventure here. So we can recommend you one, or there's several really respected accountants. But yes, you need to go hand by hand with the accountant in all the process, especially when you're buying stuff. You need every month you need to tell the accountant the income you're getting, the expenses you're getting, so they can write off.
Match it,
yeah.
So, all in all, how long do you think it will take the farm corporation? All in all,
like 3 months tops. I mean, the
tops.
Yeah. If we get an appointment for the electronic signature.
It can be more. I can tell you that. It can be more, especially open the bank account. It can be more. I mean, the corporation is legally formed in 2 weeks, but to actually have it ready and at a point where things can be done, 3 to 4 months, really.
Yeah.
And I'm not being a pessimist. And whoever tells you differently, keep in mind what they're doing. I will say there are several prices to form a corporation. When they give you a price for the corporation, check what does include on the process.
Yeah. But it could go only to set up the corporation and they leave you there.
Yeah.
And they don't follow the process to get electronic signature, open the bank account, helping you to get a tax address.
Yeah, you have to check up on to how far will they go in the process with you, and check that with everybody, including us. Ask us how far we'll go in the process. We usually include pretty much everything up until opening the bank account. That's where we have certain things that we talk with clients, but we usually include everything in our service and our process of 3 to 4 months. And this is not, and I always say this is not something against expats or foreigners. It's just like that for us.
Yeah.
It
takes the same time, yeah.
At the same time. If you have Mexican partners, foreigner partners, American partners, Canadian partners, French partners, it's the same thing for all of you. The only difference is that we can represent being Mexicans, we can represent the corporation. We don't need a proxy that is Mexican or have a resident card. And I think the last, it could be the first, but it's the last thing I want to close with is, no matter what, you have to remember that no matter what people tell you, you don't need a Mexican to open a corporation, to be a partner in your corporation, to have a corporation. I even have heard that from a notary. I don't know if you remember, I don't want to say his name. But the notary told me, hey, have you formed a corporation with foreigners and not a Mexican? I said, what are you talking about? The law doesn't say that you need a Mexican in the corporation. The problem is that whoever inscribed you in the Mexican IRS and in certain banks, whoever opened the bank account needs to have a resident card or be a Mexican. That being said, it doesn't have to be a partner. It can be a simple proxy with attributions to do just that, which is what we do here basically. So no matter what, you don't need a Mexican for the corporation.
Exactly, that's a myth, and it's still out there in the internet.
And it's used for people to
Scam.
Because I had one situation in which someone convinced the client, it was before the clients get to me. Someone convinced the clients that they need a Mexican partner. They put him on the partner, they give him attributions, full attributions, and then when it was time to, when they needed to take him out, he asked for a lot of money for that.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
A lot of money, and it was quite an issue. So don't fall for that. Your partner needs to be someone that you trust and someone that you actually want to do something with. No one can force you to put a Mexican in a corporation just because it has to be there. So don't fall for that. And I think that's it. Also, I must mention that the end of a corporation is quite complicated.
Yeah, but that's for another.
That's a whole other subject, to how to finish a corporation. But I'll just say very quickly that once you have a corporation, and think about it when you're going to form it, it's a responsibility. It's not something you can leave there abandoned. It's going to cost you, it's going to cost you money to how would you say it, to
Dissolve
it or extinguish it. It's going to cost you big bucks. And I don't want to say, I'm going to give you a ballpark, $2,000 to $4,000, easily, to dissolve the corporation. Or you're going to have to sell the share stock to another one who wants to buy a corporation, which is not usual.
Yeah.
And people who does this, or people who's watching who want to does this, buy an existing corporation, be very careful and make sure that the corporation that you're buying have everything in place and is up to date with the taxes and every single thing. Just be very careful and make sure you're receiving good advice on doing that. Other than that, you can sell your share stock or extinguish the corporation. Other than that, there's no other way to get rid of it. So be sure or think about it when you're going to form that it's not something that you can just leave there or just make it disappear easily. It takes time, it takes money, and it's a commitment.
Exactly.
And I think that's it. That's everything for today. If you have any more questions and you want more information or just want to talk about this, send us an email, give us a call, send us a text, and please hit like at the bottom, subscribe, comment, and yeah, see you next time.
See ya.
Cheers.